Tulsa native Norman Buddy Thomas is an artist, but where others work in oil or colored glass, Thomas hammers out his art. Thomas is a shop manager at Metal Fab Trophy and Screen Printing in Miami. He also owns Tree of Liberty Bladecraft and Forge, a professional-grade knife-making business recently featured in National Blade magazine. He has made 200 knives or other weapons, but Thomas still considers himself an apprentice. Thomas plans to earn a Journeyman Smith and Master Smith ratings established by the American Bladesmith Society.
Well, the mainstream school system where I went to Edison, and it was not a completely bad experience, but socially the experience was very challenging for me, interacting with those hearing students and teachers and faculty that really didn't understand me or anything about my culture. But whenever I moved to Oklahoma School for the Deaf, I felt so much more inclusive. The environment was so much more inclusive, and I was involved and accepted in so many different things. And when I signed up for that welding class in the metal fab class, if you will, that was one of the first examples of me being included and having that total inclusive opportunity and experience. Well, there's a difference, of course. So, for example, if you are doing this type of work, like forging, for example, or if you are a blacksmith or a bladesmith, they are typically, those are what I consider artists, because you have to have a visual in your head of the type of product you aspire to create. And you begin to work, and you work off of that creativity that you are envisioning in your head, and you work into a form of a finished product. Well, with the craftsmen, they typically build, if you will, cookie cutters. They build the same type of thing. If it's a building or some type of structural facility, they're building the same thing all the time. But with forging and blade work, it's not the same product each time. Every project is a different task, requires different tasks, and every product I'm making is going to be designed into a different shape, and I'm following a different design and form. The color scheme may be different. The material could be different. There are a variety of factors that are different in craft work compared to artistry, if you will. And that's my opinion. And I feel like this type of work requires art. There's just an absolute must that you have that artistic brain and be able to think creatively and come up with designs for your work. And you want to be creative because that's what's going to make people want it, and you build that consumer base in your following. I mean, so typically, you know, in any type of work that people do, people develop their own way, if you will, their niche, and I think that's really important. And you have to develop your own way, your own style. Well, I would like to get my JS, which is a Journeysmith certification. And that's the first certification I would like to obtain. And then once I develop more professionally and learn more skills that I need, I would like to advance that certification. And the requirements for that JS, though, they are very challenging. It's a very complex credential. It's not easy to pass. It's not like, for example, a driver's license. It's more, I guess I could compare it like a CDL. It's a lot of factors that go into passing this certification, and it's a very high class credential. and you can put your stamp, if you will, on your knife. When you make a product and you put that JS stamp on there, it is so much more trusted and more respected in this industry. And then I eventually want to develop into being able to a master, and get that a master smith, which is an even higher credential. And of course, with that means more requirements that must be met. And it almost is that level. Master level is almost a perfectionist, if you will. There is not much room for error once you get to that master level. So whenever you see that MS stamp on any type of work, you know that it is quality assured. You know that. And with that master credential, it also would qualify me to be able to teach other students interested in this field. Because right now, I'm somewhat of an apprentice, if you will. I'm an apprentice smith. That's my title right now. But once I get my JS, I would like to increase awareness of this field within the deaf community, and I want to recruit more deaf community members who may be interested in making these type of products and getting into this type of work, this line of work. And that way I can empower them to create their own work, make their own knives and tools or whatever they aspire to make.